What's going on, all you beautiful people? My camera is not working yet again, but that doesn't matter. We are still going to give you guys the due diligence. I'm going to work on that here in the next day or so to get a new one. But let's talk about why AMC is down almost 4% today. And this is really things that nobody could have predicted. There's three things in particular that are having a huge impact on AMC and the overall market, and that is what we're mainly going to talk about in this video, as well as go over all of the other data that you guys need to know revolving around the AMC MOS. So let's not waste any time. Let's get into this video. Hit that like button for me, consider subscribing to the channel, and check out the sponsor of this video. That is Mumu. If you guys click on the link in the description, you come to this page, get 5 free stocks up to $3,500 each when you start an account, as well as fund your account. So check that out if you guys have not already. But let's jump straight into this video with the 3 reasons why AMC and the overall markets are down today. And first and foremost, this is one that not too many people may have on their radar, but it is right here. If Biden picks Brainard over Powell for Fed chief, expect an imminent market impact. And this is actually expected to be announced tomorrow. So you're seeing a lot of preparation from big time investors in case there is a market impact like a lot of people are forecasting for. But what exactly caused the deliberate drop today? And you guys can see just these massive red candles down almost 5% at one point, was due to the fact we had one of the largest sell orders from algorithms come out as Biden was talking about the infrastructure bill today, one that we have not seen in over 2 months. So this was trading algorithms that started to rapidly sell stocks, as well as that expiring tomorrow. And this is the third reasoning. You are seeing for the November 19th expiration 95 million contracts across the market that are going to expire in general. Some of those obviously in the money, some of those out the money, but this is a lot of money that is moving around from different stocks and different industries, and AMC is definitely getting some liquidity sucked out of them due to this. And on the other side of this, the obvious is also happening. We're seeing a lot of shorting that is taking place today, as we still are on a very low volume schedule for the stock. Every single day you're seeing really low volume, including today at 14.4 million shares that have traded hands, and we're sitting at about 12:30 p.m. right now. So we still have a couple hours left of trading, and we're only at 14.5 million for volume. And as we do know, apes are holding on to their shares. So when you do see low volume days and bigger drops, this is due to shorting activity. And that goes without saying, as we have talked about many times, when there is low volume and there is shorts covering or just buying activity, the price of the stock can go up a lot. Vice versa, when we have low volume and there's a lot of shorting activity or people are short or selling the stock, you also see the stock move to the downside quite substantially. But the overall situation here, technically speaking, is still very bullish, as we are above $40 still, and this is going to be our major level because this was a resistance level for quite a while and has now somewhat turned into a support level at that $40 price. So that's what I'm going to be watching for to see if we stay above $40. I do think tomorrow you'll probably see a bounce just because of these 2 red days that we have seen over the past 2 days, but Fridays are typically our worst days, so it would not surprise me to see another down day given the Fed nomination tomorrow and potentially trading algorithms that will short stocks and sell out of stocks. So those are really the 3 main reasons why AMC is down about 4% currently, and why we could be in for some turbulence, at the very least volatility over the next couple of weeks. Really over the next week or two, I don't think you're going to see a total market collapse if Biden picks Brainard over Powell, just because Powell and Brainard basically have the same views. Brainard has never once went against Powell and what he says. A little bit different stance on foreign policy, things like that, but nothing that should impact the markets in a substantial way for a prolonged period of time. So that's basically what you guys need to know. It could go 50-50 at this point. All I want to see is that we stay above $40 per share. So that is the current situation. That is the scope. Still, it goes without saying the technicals are bullish. We're hitting higher lows, so that is good right there. I still think we're going to have an end of the year rally when it does come down to it. Now let's get into some of the other data that you guys need to know, and let's first off start with the Stockholm Tracker data, because with the activity that we're seeing today, with 95 million contracts expiring across the market tomorrow, I think it's pretty relevant to go over this data first. So we are looking at 29,683 contracts that are currently in the money. Out of the money contracts at 270,511. So if we do see a push tomorrow, which would be about a 10% move if we went up $4 to $44 per share, which is possible, probably improbable at this current moment. But if we do get even a smaller move to the upside, you're going to see quite a bit of contracts go into the money, and you can get more stability, because if you're seeing short-term moves on the day of expiration, those contracts almost immediately have to be hedged for. So watch out for that. A lot of contracts just going to expire out of the money in general for the next couple of weeks. Nothing too crazy at all. But for December 17th, which is just one day under 1 month away, you're already seeing 208,445 contracts that are out of the money, 33,743 contracts that are currently in the money. So by the time this does come around, almost 1 month away from where we are currently at, you are going to see this option chain populate. It would not surprise me to see over 300,000 contracts that are out of the money, probably 50,000 or so that are in the money. So this is going to be another important day, as we do typically see December be a pretty bullish month overall. And then January 21st, 2022 is going to be the big one, where we already do have 161,865 contracts that are in the money, almost 240,000 contracts that are out of the money. So watch to see how that populates. Either way it goes, to the upside or the downside, you're just going to see volatile moves here throughout the rest of this year and the first couple of months of next year. And I do think AMC is going to get some bullish activity, like I said, in end of the year rally. The data does support that. Now let's move on to the Ortex data, and some people were commenting on the last videos, why am I saying these estimates are basically not true, and what else could we go off of if these are not true? And that's an interesting dilemma, because we know this data cannot be correct, right? It's saying that we're down short interest change of negative 0.2% today, and we're certainly not seeing more covered shares than shorted shares on the day. I know, they only update this a couple times a day, so it might be delayed. By the time we get to the end of the day wrap up, we might see this actually reflecting more accurate numbers for the day. But if you consider where we were at back here, settlement day October 29th, we were at, let's go to this exact day, October 29th, we were at about $35 per share. Yes, it looks like some shorts probably did cover, but there was also a lot of shorting activity in general. So I don't think, the numbers probably moved around too much, as we did have earnings being digested, and, earnings came around as well. So you definitely seen a lot of shorting and a lot of buying. I don't think, like I said, the number, this 18.5% short interest of free float, moved around a whole lot, and that's what we were at. And just to say the short interest has fallen about 3.1% of the free float since then doesn't make a lot of sense mathematically. Now, as well as that, the shares that are short, about 95 million, the last exchange reported short interest day, and 2.66 days to cover. That is very important. The days to cover is the most important part. The higher, the better. The higher, it's essentially harder for shorts to get out of their short positions when they do eventually want to cover. And that just means that there's lower volume in the stock than what we have seen. And as we do know, if you have low volume, like we said, if you see buying power going to the stock, you'll see big moves to the upside, but vice versa. If you see low volume and more shorting happening, you're going to see the price going down like we did see today. So it's a bit of, a give or take situation, but you definitely want to see lower volume heading into a volume spike, and then you'll see that rally from there. But kind of to wrap up what I was saying, is essentially what I'm going off of is the exchange reported short interest data, this column right here, because these are the actual numbers. We can look at the estimates and try to see if they make sense, but their algorithms for Ortex have not been very accurate this far. Over the past really about a month or two, they haven't been very accurate and not really reflecting what we're seeing in the price action. So an alternative is just to go off of the exchange reported short interest data and then go off of, since this report came out October 29th, what has happened with the stock, and come to a reasonable expectation of where the short interest is probably at. And then once we get the next one, we may be surprised, or we may be right on track. But I think that's the best way to really estimate this. And if I were to estimate this, we're probably at about 18% short interest. Like I said, I don't think it moved around too much. We have went up a little bit, so take about 0.5% of the free float, say that, 0.5% of the free float covered, looking at probably 18% short interest. That is my guess. Now, let's move on to the 13F filings, and this is the last filing that we are probably going to get, November 18th. That came out today from Penn Series Fund Inc. Small Cap Index Fund. They hold about 16,655 shares. All of the other firms that we have seen, a majority speaking, have been very bullish. If we do go to market beat for AMC, we can see that the institutional buys to sells are really, really high. $762 million worth that has been bought in Q3 and $33 million that has been sold. These are numbers that we've seen back here comparable to Q1 2021, but the difference is AMC is a lot higher price than it is, well, a lot higher price now than what it was back in Q1 2021 before this major rally. So there's definitely a lot of bullish activity, something that is very exciting to see played out. It goes without saying, this is obviously skewed way to the bullish side, over 20x the amount of buys to sells that have been happening with AMC over the last quarter. So a lot of bullish activity overall. And like I said, just to wrap up this video, keep in mind what happens with if Biden picks Brainard over Powell. You're going to see some market disruptions. You may see AMC come down, but this is very short term. This is not going to last forever. And by the end of the year, I would hold my hat on it that we're going to see an end of the year rally, because it really comes down to volume, and when we get that volume back into the stock is when we are going to see the stock actually start to pop. So that is going to be all for this video. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Check out the links in the description to get all the free stock your heart desires with Moomoo, Webull, Public. There's a couple other links down there, as well as a link for the buy and sell alerts. If you guys want to be notified every time I make a trade in stock, options, and or crypto, that is your way to do that. So that is going to be all for this video. You guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.